Welcome to the Sensible Center podcast, where two middle-aged guys drunkenly talk politics and political reform. Grab an adult beverage and enjoy the show. Further information can be found at sensiblecenterpack.com. You can reach us at sensiblecenterpack@gmail.com or follow us on X at USASCPack.
Hey, Bob. Merry pre-Christmas.
Happy holidays, Kevin.
I want to thank the Green Bay Packers for the best Christmas gift ever on Sunday. I don't know if our listeners know, or it was Saturday.
Sooner or later, the Bears are going to fart, and that horseshoe is going to come flying out of their ass.
Don't be bitter.
I'm just saying, that's what's going to happen. That was ridiculous.
I don't know if our listeners know, but Bob is a Green Bay Packer fan, which I still don't quite understand, but sure.
And in equal parts, the Chicago Bears hater.
Yeah,
They're two
you
separate
definitely
things.
are. So we were texting during the game, and hopefully everyone watched the game on Saturday. And late in the game, I was obviously goading him on it a little bit at that point. I didn't have much faith in the Bears, and I was surprised by the outcome. But at some point, Bob sort of went silent, and I thought I was going to have to call 911 or something to do a wellness check. Because of the way it unfolded at the end.
I went silent before that unfolded that way because I just knew something told me, don't gloat.
You had a feeling.
Don't talk garbage. Something told me.
You have the instinct much more than I do on the prediction side. So, segueing to our show tonight, we decided since it's the end of the year that we're going to kind of do predictions, sort of for the year ahead in 2026, both sort of mostly what we cover here, sort of political and economic predictions for the year ahead.
Did we do this last year?
No, we've never done it.
Can't believe we didn't do this last year. That's crazy.
No, I don't think we did. Well, maybe we did, and I just forgot.
I think last year, this time when we were doing these, we were drinking a little more heavily than we do nowadays.
That's right. I got to get back in the drinking thing. I'm away from my bar now, so I've got to re-up I got to get my Arizona connections in place here. So we'll see how that goes. So let's just go. We're going to kind of do a lightning round for a bunch of predictions here and see how it goes, and you guys could see how whether you agree with us or not. I've actually also pulled up. I don't know if everyone's familiar with. I actually saw a 60-minute segment on the prediction markets. It's become a big business now, right?
I watched that.
You familiar with them? Like Polymarket and
Galaxy? Yeah, I'm on Polymarket now, but right now they only let me sports bet, which is unfortunate because I was hoping to at least get on there and be able to see some of the markets for things like this.
Why would they only let you sports bet? Is it just?
They're still working through the laws in the United States, so that type of market wasn't allowed until very recently because of a court case, and I don't think they've got all the regulation quite set up yet.
Okay, yeah, I haven't tried to bet anything. I've just kind of pulled it up here so we can kind of check how our predictions might align with some of the things in the prediction market. I've got Polymarket up here, but anyways. Let's go through them. So, and first on my list, I have, a recession. Will there be a recession in the year ahead? And I think kind of generally, I think people have called a recession coming up for,
a couple years.
Yeah, at least a couple years. I would say since the end of the pandemic, everyone's been waiting simply because the business cycle, this is an extraordinary long period of time, right?
Yeah. But the way we manage our recessions or economics are a bit different now too, right? So they don't like to let them happen anymore, and sometimes I question whether or not that is accurate either, right? So, and I think
well, the increasing debt probably has led to a recession not happening, right? If you draw the line between the last recession and our debt, I would think that the debt is kind of skyrocketed during that time. So you're kind of right. They don't let it happen.
Yep, they don't let it happen.
So are they going to let it happen?
I think honestly, I think that in some ways we're already in a recession.
All right.
It's interesting because with Trump, there's so much different stuff happening. Like you can see the data in it, and it looks like it's not a recession, but there's other things happening. Like I'll give you an example, like the spot rate on trucking right now, so semi-transportation, right? It's through the roof. It's setting records.
Are you looking to ship something, or are you just keep in touch with
No,
that market?
I keep notes on. I'm always reading about the markets, right? So
Yeah.
I'm looking at real estate people, but they're real close to the transportation people and the other economics people because it all kind of ties in together, right? So generally every day of the year I'm reading that stuff if it's out there to read, and spot rates are through the roof. So that would tell you that things are being shipped, things are being ordered, there's demand, that sort of thing.
Right.
That said, we also know there are thousands and thousands of what I will call semi-legal CDL licenses that are being revoked because people are coming from overseas and being given CDLs by these CDL mills.
Right.
And then all of a sudden, the administration's cracking down, and so there's thousands of less semis available on the road.
Do you think that could be causing a disconnect in the market, which drives the spot rate up?
Absolutely. Yep.
So that might not be a good indicator, given the crackdown on the immigration.
Yep.
Yep. So
and you
my
can go that way with
personal
unemployment as well, right? We see the employment market weakening, but if there's less illegal labor around, it's soaking up some of the
it's
problem.
definitely something we haven't seen in our history, right? Taking people literally taking them out of the labor market to see how that's going to affect things. It sounds like I don't think there will be. Simply one, because of the reason that you had said before, they don't really allow it, and I don't think Trump would allow it to happen. I don't know exactly what he would do in regards to it, but I would lean towards the easy money policies and stimulus.
Yep. There were a few market reports that were supposed to come out today that didn't, and they're blaming the shutdown for those.
Right, there's that too, playing with the numbers and delaying things, which I don't put him above, which is kind of something that I think is going to get more. Yeah, if the economy takes a downturn, I don't trust him more than any other president that has come along to play the game, play fairly. I know you could say that about anyone probably, but I would say more so with him.
He uses every avenue he can.
Right.
The amount of energy, and I'm sure he's not directing everything, right? If he was, you'd have to almost call him a genius, whether you like what he's doing or not, because there's so much.
He's a stable genius. We know that.
He's a very stable genius. He's so all over the place with everything, and granted, I don't like everything he's doing, but it creates so much noise, it just creates exhaustion from the people on the other side of the fence.
I would say it's a countrywide exhaustion because it's 24/7 with that guy. So I'm thumbs down on a recession. I don't think we will have a confirmed recession in 2026.
I tend to side with you.
Okay.
I tend to side. The numbers are not going to show a recession.
All right. Let's do Fed rate cuts. So we just had a quarter point rate cut, and I think the general consensus is
another one in
two
January.
Two more cuts. Well, actually, I'm looking at Poly Market here, and they're saying 80% right now, as of an hour ago, are saying no change in January. So they think they're gonna hold. I think they're gonna hold for a while.
I think they'll probably hold for in the next month. Wait and see what the numbers say, especially since we haven't been getting a lot of numbers as of late.
Yeah,
I think there's signs of inflation kind of coming back.
Yeah, so do I. I mean, anyone who's been to a grocery store or out to a restaurant, I would say that's besides housing prices and things like that. I think those are the most obvious things. Insurance has gone up quite a bit too. I think people are impacted by large increases in homeowners insurance and car insurance and things like that.
Actually, my insurance is going down this year. I
Oh,
just
good
re-upped
for
on my
you.
insurance, but the house is going up.
Yep.
Like my autos are going down, but that could just be a product of the cars are a little bit older now.
Right.
So
All right. So I would say two more cuts at the most, small cuts, um, in 2026. I don't. The if factor is obviously Trump's going to appoint a new chairman, and there's going to be a little bit of a shakeup in the board over that time. So I imagine it will become more interesting, and there'll be more dissents than usual. It won't be unanimous decisions for sure.
well,
Uh,
Powell's going to be out in what, May at the latest.
yeah.
I think I think there'll be more than a half point cut. I do this year.
All right. So you're a little bit more aggressive
Yeah, I think
than I
so.
am on the interest rate cuts. Let's go to number three. I have Trump still alive? Question mark.
Yeah, he'll
And
be
and I
alive.
noticed you can't bet on this stuff on Polymarket. I guess you can't bet on people dying, which
And it's
I guess is
kind of yeah,
understandable
yeah.
given what we've seen in
I
regards
mean,
to assassinations
if
and
there was
such.
a poll on Facebook for everybody on there, if they would die this year, would you like it?
That's right. Yeah, I don't think people should be betting on somebody else dying, unless of course it's life insurance and your spouse, right?
Yeah.
Then it's
Ninety-eight
perfectly
percent of
fine.
your friends say they're gonna bet you're gonna die this year. You're not gonna feel too great all year. You're gonna be
That's
wearing
right.
bubble wrap.
Yeah, I mean, if you bet on your wife's death, only Dateline cares about that at the end of
That's
the day,
right.
right?
That's right.
So I'm actually up in the air about this one. I think he's not healthy. I I watch him a lot, and I think he's slipping. I think there's something going on, despite what Dr. Ronnie Jackson says. I don't know
I
if you've
well,
picked
I
up on
definitely
anything.
think I do think he's slowing down. And honestly, I've watched very little to no news at all this year. I do read
Good
a
for
lot
you,
of news. I do read a
right?
lot of news, but
You don't
I don't
watch.
watch the TV news much anymore because it's it's all, in my opinion, fake, right? So I don't care if it's Fox News. I don't care if it's CNN, NBC, CBS. It's a lot of garbage. I feel like local news, at least, you kind of get stuff that is a little less opinionated. But
Sure. Yeah, I mean the
um,
talking heads thing is something I,
yeah,
I generally don't put up with. I mean, I will watch if if it's a newsmaker, like if it's Trump or somebody talking about something. But if it's just pundits talking about what's going to happen, that's which is
yeah,
80% of what they do, right?
yeah. So I tend to believe. I mean, I agree. He's slipping a little bit, but I mean, it's more. It's age. It's not like Biden was slipping or whatever, but it's yeah, a little bit. Some of the stuff that he does, and none of it's coming to mind right now, but some of the stuff that he's done recently, I don't particularly care for. Maybe it'll come up on our list.
All right. So we both think he'll
He'll
survive the year.
he'll survive the year. Yeah.
I don't think I'm going to go out on a limb and say he doesn't survive his remaining term. I just I have a feeling. My gut's usually wrong, but he's older.
You
Like
think
you
it's going
said,
to be
he
natural
goes
causes?
so hard. The guy goes so hard, right?
Yeah.
He's going constantly. At least apparently.
If
Uh,
he's going to go, I hope it's natural causes. But
oh yeah, I don't. Well, that gets
but
into our next one. Trump assassination attempt or another political assassination in the coming year. I, my take,
political?
yeah, political,
Yeah, I think so. But doesn't mean it's going to be a politician.
right?
I
Yeah,
mean,
I
just
mean,
look what happened at Brown University the other day. It's got very apparently political.
yeah. Yeah, I think the political term gets thrown around a little bit much, but because you can say most anything's political, um, except so I don't think there's going to be anything. I think it'll be a quiet year. I'm hoping. I think it will
I'll
be good for the
I'll
country.
I'll limit it to to the three branches of the federal government and say no.
So no judges, no no
Senators,
congressperson or anything,
representatives, or
or
yeah,
cabinet members or anything.
yeah.
Well, that's good. We agree with that. So we're going to generally have somewhat of a reprieve. Um, so next one is, let's go international here a little bit. Israel Hamas peace. We don't have that yet, right? Or do we?
Well, granted, I haven't been watching much news lately. But as
I
far
haven't
as
heard
I've
much
been
about
reading,
it,
I
to be
haven't heard
honest
any
with you.
fighting. I don't think there's any fighting going on. I think there's probably a little bit of tit for tat, but I don't. It hasn't made national news.
Yeah, I don't know if yeah, I should watch international news more.
The
I
last
don't know
thing
if
I read was actually an update on what Trump wants to do with Gaza and some mock-ups about what it'll look like, and it looks pretty cool.
I bet it does.
Granted, I wouldn't go there and get on a single train. That's not just me. But
So 5 years from now, we'll be going, hey, where are you going? Hey, I'm going to Gaza.
yeah,
It's gorgeous this time of year. Gonna hit the
right.
beaches.
Gaza nights.
Gaza nights be like a clubs.
Hmm.
Going to all inclusive on Gaza. Yeah, I don't know. So yeah, I don't think we have a peace deal, right? There's a ceasefire.
Yeah, there's a ceasefire. I don't think there's a
There's a
deal.
deal yet.
Yeah.
I don't see a deal, right? I don't. I don't even know what a deal would look like.
I don't know. I spent 3-4 days last month with a bunch of people who live in Israel. I was out in a conference, not
Oh,
Arizona,
really?
as a matter of
Interesting.
fact. And the company that was throwing the conference is an Israeli-run company, so their main office is in headquarters is in Israel, and a lot of their engineers and CEO and but they were all out, or a lot of them were out. And I asked them. It was right after that ceasefire, I think. And I asked them about it. What do you think about this? And they insist that they want peace.
Right.
Um, they were talking about. I had talked to a few of them who said they had gone to meet some of the hostages and listen to them speak about how they were treated and what things were like. And obviously they weren't treated very well, and the mental torture and all that stuff was pretty awful. They seem scared, right? They don't want to live that way anymore, and they're not quite sure what to do about it. And they're at the point where it's like peace by aggression, right? That's kind of what I picked up on.
Right.
I asked, I said, what's that like when you're sitting there underneath that Iron Dome, or what do they call it?
Yeah.
Yeah, and they said, well, you kind of get used to it after a while in the rockets, and it's not great, but you get used to it, and it's not as scary as it was the first time. But then they talked about the missiles in Iran that one time, and they said that was different. That was quite scary.
I bet. I mean, it's not a large country, right? I mean,
It's not. No.
there's not that many people. It's not a large country, so it's like almost like if they're bombing the Chicago area, there's nowhere to go, right?
Yep.
Um, I think it's the size of New Jersey, maybe.
Yeah, sounds about
But
right. I mean,
but the population's concentrated within a couple centers that are not too far from each other. Um, yeah, it's scary. I just don't. I think people could get used to living. I mean, it's amazing what people could get used to living in, and I just don't see there any political incentives from either side to not continue to fight. I, you would think that the last 3 years would have created that space to say, okay, enough's enough. We need to resolve this. We can't be doing this, right? And I do think I'll give Trump credit and Jared Kushner and whatnot. I do think throwing the Arab nations into the mix is probably as good a attempt to do something different than any, right? Have them exert some influence, especially on the Hamas side, and also neutering Iran, which has occurred over the last year, right? I think Iran clearly has been um, diminished, I would say, as a regional player through what Israel has done with our help over the last couple of years. So I do think there's the opportunity there, right? Um, some new dimensions that haven't been existing for the last couple decades, but hey, if he manages to pull it off, we should give him the Peace Prize. I'll give you
Absolutely.
that. I'll go out there and say that if he does get some type of like suitable agreement, and I think that he's actually trying, right? I do think
He's
I got
trying.
to give him credit.
He's trying between Russia and Ukraine. He's trying
Right.
between Israel and Hamas. He's trying.
Yeah.
I think he's trying with Venezuela. I don't know if we're getting the whole story there, but he's trying.
Yeah. We could. So you mentioned. So I don't see anything like over the next year, but like I said, I think there are pieces that are in place. I just don't think the main players, especially Bibi and I don't even know who represents the Palestinian people at this point. Um, I think they're trying to reintroduce Abbas, but
Nobody wants the job.
nobody wants a job, right?
Yeah.
So how do you do it? So um, what about Ukraine Russia? That seems like it's gone several different ways, right? There's been meetings, and it
I'd
seems like
like
they're
to think
creeping
that's
towards
going to
something.
get solved this year.
Yeah, it seems like they're creeping towards something, right?
Yeah.
I think I've read recently that we're we're willing to put some security guarantees in place, and it sounds like Zelensky's a little bit more uh, open to at least not getting any NATO, not seeking NATO. I still think the main thing is going to be how much land they're going to have to give up. Um, but I think he's less reliant on the U.S. now. I think Europe is more backstopping him, right? Which then gives him a little bit more leg to stand on, where Trump can't browbeat him too much. And I don't think Trump's had any success in browbeating Putin.
Nope. He's trying.
He's trying. Putin's Putin's Putin's
But
playing.
here's the thing: how little I know about Russia. Who's in line behind Putin? What happens next?
It's like
Honest question. I don't know.
Putin Jr. Does he got a Don Jr. somewhere? Do we know who his
Not-
kids are? He's got to have
You
kids,
never,
right?
You never hear about his kids or his
Right.
wife.
That's true. We need to research that. He's got to have them, right?
Uh,
He's not a
I
bad.
don't
He's
know.
married, right? Now I'm curious.
yeah, time to Google on the fly here.
Putin family. Putin family. Uh, so yeah, I sort of agree with you generally.
He
Family,
has,
two daughters.
yeah. Well, he's actually looks like he's got more. Maria. I'm not going to
Katrina.
do the last names. Katrina. You got
They're like in their 40s, right?
Elizaveta, born March 3rd, 2003.
So he's divorced though.
Ivan Putin, born in 2015, and Vladimir Jr., born in 2019.
There you go, Vlad Jr. They're
Yeah.
a little young though.
Yeah, a little young.
So yeah, I think we're in agreement here. I think they're inching towards something, and I think if Trump manages to broker a deal here, I don't know how involved he could get, but I will give him credit for it because again, it's difficult to solve this, and I think this is more solvable than the other one, Israel and Palestine.
Hamas,
But
yeah.
all right, well, so we both agree Russia's more likely, Russia Ukraine more likely than Israel Hamas. But
At least from a long-term perspective, yeah.
I wouldn't. I don't put them out either one of them out of the realm of possibility for the next year.
Yeah, I think the only way something truly changes with Hamas is something's got to change with Iran.
Yeah. Um, let's get back into. All right, let's do something fun. Super Bowl winner. Who do you think's going to win the Super Bowl as we're getting closer to seeing who's going to get in the playoffs? The Bears clinched, right? They clinched the
They
playoff
got in
berth,
because Detroit lost yesterday. Yeah.
which is pretty cool. So,
Um, you know, Denver's pretty mean and pretty rough.
you haven't really
Um,
seen them play this year too much.
the thing is in the Super Bowl they won't be at home, and that changes things a bit. But it looks like they're going to probably have home field advantage for the playoffs. So I like Denver over New England in the AFC Championship game. The NFC, man, I don't know. Um, I really don't know. There's not a great team there this year. A lot of it's due to injuries. All the teams have got injuries. I don't know, but because I don't know in the NFC, I'm going to say it's going to be Denver.
You're going
Sean
Denver.
Payton and Denver.
Yeah, I didn't consider anyone in the AFC because I think the AFC is generally diminished compared to the NFC. That's my
They
take.
are. They are. Yeah.
Especially with Kansas City and Baltimore kind of hitting the skids. So
Yeah, I
they've
think
seen a changeover in their leadership. So I actually wrote down the Rams uh, simply because of they've been there before. They've done it. They're having a decent season. Um, and I just looked on Polymarket. There's $630 million bet on the Super Bowl champ, and right now the Rams are sitting at. It's still pretty split up. It's 15.6% for the Rams. Seattle's 15, Buffalo's 12, and Philadelphia's 7. Those are the top four.
yeah, I think Seattle barely beat out the Rams
Yeah.
recently, and it felt pretty lucky. That's the thing about the NFL. I told you the other night. I'm thinking I need to stop because I
You're not going to watch news, and you're not going to watch sports soon.
the problem with the NFL is I think outside of the first game, maybe two games of the season, when I'm watching my team, my pressure goes through the roof, and I can feel it, and it's not good. And I'll test it sometimes after the game, or late in the game, and it's way through the roof. It's not healthy for me. I take it personally. I don't know why, but I do.
Yeah, I really get that invested. I mean, there are certain times where I need to just walk away. I'll turn it off and walk away.
Yeah,
Especially if I see something stupid or my team is doing something stupid.
yeah, and that's it. If my team is doing something stupid, fine. But I spend enough. I mean, I watch a lot of football, right? Not just my team, not just the team I hate. I watch almost every football game that's on, like each time slot, right?
Right.
I'll pick the best football game of the time slot and watch it, whether it's Thursday night, first game Sunday, second game Sunday, third game Sunday, or Monday night. I'm watching, and I do some gambling too, right? I don't gamble a lot. It's $1 here, $5 there.
Sure.
Um, but I do enough of it through the parlays and things there's just certain things I watch, and I think when I'm this something seems just a little off here. You know what I mean? And then if you think about it from a story standpoint and a WWE standpoint, and
Uh
how
oh.
that stuff's written, I think there's some of that
Are
going
you
on. I
claiming
really do.
that there's some mischief going
I
on?
I do. I think there is. I think there's a bit of a
Oh,
narrative
interesting.
to get people kind of invested, and it's starting to feel a little bit like I don't know, like kind of like politics. You know what I mean? Same sort of thing. Like it's trying to do enough to draw you in. I don't know. I don't like the inconsistency with the refs. Right?
Yeah, there's definitely a lot going on with the refs. I don't
Yeah, and so
know.
it starts to become a thing where I don't know, man. It's not worth the blood pressure anymore to me. It really isn't. I've been trying to tell myself not to watch the football game next. I didn't watch anything after Saturday. Well, I watched the last minute and a half of the Lions game yesterday, but I didn't watch the game tonight. I don't know if I'm going to watch any next week. I'm just very like it's not good for me.
That's interesting. Because I'm wondering if, yeah, especially with the betting side of it, I'd kind of do the same thing. I think I bet $5 on the Bears game and double my money or something. I'll do it occasionally, but I'm wondering if that is going to lead to, like you said, kind of one either a burnout or people questioning things more, looking at things closer, right?
It happened in basketball this year. You saw
Right?
that story, right?
Yeah, it's possible
That
when you
extended to
got
other
that much
sports.
money and you got all these strange bets and all these parlays and prop bets and whatnot. I mean, there's
So at what point, we'll just take the NBA for example because it happened with them. What point is the NBA liable, right? And then at what point are the sports books liable for any bet anybody made on that guy's team, or if it's a coach especially on their team or the performance of any of their players? Where does it stop?
yep.
It's
All right.
interesting.
So we're saying a Broncos Rams Super Bowl.
Yeah, that seems reasonable. I'm going to say Broncos Rams. That sounds good. Or Broncos Seahawks. I said Broncos. I'll go with the Broncos are going to win.
Okay. Let's switch back to politics here. Midterm elections. Do you think the Dems will swing either of the houses? Are we looking at a lame duck Trump 2 years at the end here? Personally, I think the Dems are going to screw it up.
Yeah. Well, again, this is kind of gray area, right? Because you've got all these movements for these red states to start gerrymandering.
Yep.
And if
That's part
that
of the reason
happens,
I'm looking at, right?
Yeah. If that happens, then the GOP will hang on to it. If that gets stopped in the court system, I think typically the other party wins, right? It's just history. So we'll see.
Yeah, I mean, they've basically got probably 6 or 7 months to decide what the districts look like, right?
Yeah.
I don't know how people run in a district if they don't know where the district's at, but I would assume they have to lock it in before the primaries or something.
Yeah.
I don't know when the deadlines are, so um, I think the courts have generally sided with the legislatures of allowing them to do whatever, yeah,
Yep.
basically whatever they want.
Yep.
The Supreme
States'
Court's
rights.
definitely taken that tact. It's like, hey,
Well, that's
that's
what
what it
happened a
is,
lot in 2020, right? I mean, Trump called it, a hoax and cheating and whatever else. But
yep,
like the truth is, yes, a lot of the states did not follow their own laws. But from the Supreme Court's perspective, the state can do whatever they want to do in that situation.
yep.
And if it's not follow their own laws, well, that's their right.
So I'm saying the Republicans hold both houses. I don't think
I
we're
don't
gonna
think there's
see a
any risk
blue
of the
wave.
Republicans losing the Senate. Yeah, I would say you're probably right.
Simply because I think they're going to play the game better. I think they're going to win on these redistricting and be able to at least offset some of the midterm gains, especially if there's not any huge bad news and the economy kind of goes along, the stock market goes along. Um, I don't think they're going to be able to pull it off. So, all right, what's another thing? Craziest thing Trump does. You have any kind of wacky predictions on what Trump will do? I came up with two things. I think at some point he's going to write some. I think he's talking about writing checks to the militaries, the $1,776 checks.
Yeah,
I
I
think
saw that.
as the midterms come around, I think he's going to push to write checks to people. Because
Yeah,
I
he's already
actually
talking about
read,
it. Tariff checks and
that
things,
was
yeah.
very effective during the first term with people because getting a check in the mail means a lot to people, right? Especially people who are living paycheck to paycheck, getting $2,000 or $1,500 or whatever it is makes a big difference, right? And I think he deep down realizes that, and I think he can convince the Republicans in Congress that's going to help him get elected in the midterms, or at least offset some of the losses.
Yeah, I think that's a terrible idea, though. I hope he doesn't do it.
Of course, it's a crazy idea.
Why would you do that after the inflation that the last one caused, last two or three caused? Yeah, and the
Yeah.
Fed, I guess, started pumping money back into the market today.
Oh, good.
Yeah, I was reading that yesterday that they were going to start today.
The easing has begun.
Yep, they're not calling it that. I forget what they're calling it, but yeah.
So what
Yeah,
about
the
Venezuela?
housing market is the big thing. I think that Trump's going to do something about next year. I don't know. I think in part it's going to try to get the Fed to drop interest rates heavily, which I don't think will be as effective, even if he gets it done as he thinks, because well, we've got a lot of debt and nobody necessarily wants it. And the other thing, which something I had been doing for a while, and then I read about it last night that other people are doing it too, is people don't want bonds anymore. Generally speaking, it doesn't matter. I mean, people, it's hard to make money off of bonds, right? They provide some bit of security because when a market goes, I don't need to tell you this, but when the equities are going down, bonds are kind of holding steady. You're making your,
They do provide income, right?
yeah. Um, that said, overall, stocks have had such a long run,
Yeah.
and this is going all the way back to the 1930s.
Yeah.
They've had such a long run of, doing well. Why do you, as long as you're not being dumb with it and buying, penny stocks, putting all your savings into penny stocks or whatever, why do you need bonds? And so you're finding people, kids especially, but even people in their 50s now are starting to get to the point where, no more bonds. So it's getting harder and harder to get people to buy bonds,
Which means the
regardless
yields are going to go
the
up in
debt.
bonds because they need to attract
Right,
people to buy them, right?
right.
Which works out fine for me.
Yeah.
Fields of bonds go up, I'm good.
So
I'll take some high yielding bonds.
I've I've never been a real fan of bonds either. I've always had kind of two accounts. One I let someone manage for me, and then one that I manage on my own. Um, and I'm kind of always more happy just up, the SPY, DJIA,
Yeah.
Nasdaq fund, and you're going to do just as good.
Well, my prediction going into my retirement was that we're going to have an extended period of below average returns in the market. That hasn't turned out just yet, but
Eventually, that has to happen, right?
that's what my economics tells me, Bob. I know
So, well,
we're living
Elon
in a
Musk is
I know
saying
we're
now.
living in a different world, but something tells me, when you look at price earnings multiples, and I mean, we could talk about the AI bubble that was. Are we in an AI bubble? I mean,
Right.
I've done tech lending. Markets tend to hype things, right? And then
Well, here's the thing about that, though,
overreact on
right?
both sides, right?
Yeah, sometimes AI and data centers get conflated, but yeah, they're very similar in the fact of what's driving the market. But it's not just, like what AI can do as a service to people. It's also what AI requires, right? Which is more compute
Right?
and data centers as a whole. It's more energy.
There's a physical element to it, right?
There's
The
and then
cloud is
so
not in a cloud, right?
right, and so there's other aspects to it as well, right? So like only so much data can get processed through copper. So you need new technology to move data faster to and from chips,
Well, don't
right?
we have fiber now?
Well, it's not just the fiber. I'm talking about the actual like communication within a
Within a
server
center. Yeah.
or
Got
within
you.
a center. Yes, both. So and so what there's new emerging technology that can move data within a server, a device, and a data center or a group of data or a group of devices faster by light rather than copper, which is interesting and emerging. And then in addition to that, this new technology can also reduce the amount of energy required to operate, right? So that's a good thing. Now, who's going to be the winner? Who's going to get bought out? I don't know, but it's generally cheap right now to buy that sort of thing, right? So there's still opportunity, even if AI doesn't do what it's going to do, or we think it's going to do, or it fails and it is a bubble. some of the technology that comes out of it is still going to be very relevant for data centers, just for general computing, quantum computing, and things like that.
So you're more comfortable with that. You're fairly comfortable with the level of investment going into this. I mean, what I've read, and which is what concerns me on this, is one, it's pretty concentrated, right? At least at this point. And there's a lot of interconnecting deals within the people who are concentrating, which then makes it look like sales are happening, but it's sort of a pyramid scheme a little bit, right?
Yeah, and
Microsoft's
sure
doing it, and Nvidia's buying from this. I mean, it's kind of a little bit of an incestual relationship
ChatGPT's got
these
Microsoft,
companies,
yeah,
and so that makes it difficult to peel back the actual growth that's happening. I don't know.
because everybody's kind
I
of
hope I'm
positioning or
wrong.
posturing, right? And that's kind of the
Right.
way it works. Yeah, I don't
But
know.
yeah,
You know, there'll be some failures.
yeah. There's definitely got to be fallout. There's going to be winners and losers, right? You never want to bet on one horse, no matter how good it looks at any given point.
But in the end, let's just say that AI is a complete failure, and it won't be. But let's just say AI is a complete failure. The Dow is still going to be there in 50 years, right? And it will have grown in 50 years compared to what it is today, especially with inflation. So
I remember I'd called the stock market in the beginning of this year. I said, I think we're just going to have a kind of a 5% decline this year, kind of a moderate down year.
we did have this conversation last year. I don't know what I said.
I think we talked about the market at least.
Yeah.
And obviously that didn't pan out for this year. But I'm still going to call it a flat market for next year. Because I'm persistent. I'm a contrarian.
I think
I'm a value
inflation is
investor.
gonna
I'm a
continue.
contrarian.
I think inflation's going to continue, and I think the market's going to grow. Will it grow as much as this year? Questionable. I hope it does. Well, from a selfish standpoint, I hope it does. It could hurt us long term. I'm not so sure. I hope it does, but I think it's going to grow. I think it's going to be another good year. I think it's going to be another year. I don't know what the growth was. I know what my 401k has been, and it's well over 20%.
Yep.
So I'm hoping, I'm thinking, I could see another on par year. But I think 2027, again,
History would say otherwise, but whatever.
Yeah, and I've gone back and looked at my 401k and the growth over the last 20 years that I've worked for the company I do.
Yeah.
And I noticed that usually years where you have 18 or 20%, there's two of them in a row. And then you don't have that for a while, another 10 years or 8 to 10 years. So,
yeah, I forgot what the last down year we had. Was 2021 a down year? Was 21 or 22 was a down year?
I don't think there's been a down year since COVID. There was, I'm trying to think. I'm not sure if there's been a down year since around 2014 or 2015.
I once had a theory that the boomers were going to spend their cycle out of stocks over time and spend down their earnings, which then would drive down the market from a demographic basis, at least in the U.S.
Yeah,
still waiting for that to happen.
I was reading that part of why that hasn't happened, well, one, they don't need to, but two, if they never sell, they never get taxed, even in debt. So if you inherit a sum of stocks from your parents and you never sell them, they never sold them, you don't get taxed on that till you sell them.
Yeah,
right? So you'll pay the taxes on it. So that's part of it, I think. The other thing,
it's just because of a tax trying to.
I think it's part of it. Well, it's the same thing with housing right now. I didn't realize it until I was reading about it this week, within the last couple of days. So if you make over $500,000 in profit on your house, you got to pay capital gains tax.
Right.
And with the rapid increase in housing values over the last 5 years, that's a lot of people, right?
So you think
Especially
people
in
are not
markets like
selling because of the tax?
right. So
Yeah, I mean, it depends on the market, but yeah, I mean,
capital
you could
gains tax
easily.
is not cheap, right? And that's a lot of money. So people are looking at it like older people, especially who've made a lot of money. Hey, do I want to downsize? Do I want to pay a capital gains tax just to downsize? And in a lot of
Right.
cases, the answer is no, and that's what's happening. So I think that's part of what Trump is probably going to adjust next year, right? I don't know if it's raised that capital gain tax line up to $700,000 or $800,000 maybe.
Just to try to
750.
loosen up the markets.
Yep. But I suspect that'll be some of it. Is he'll bump that line up on that. I think he'll probably try to force rates down, even though I don't think it'll be all that terribly effective. That'll be part of it. And then there's probably going to be another piece which I had lined up in my head, but I can't remember right now. But yeah, but I think that capital gains thing is probably playing a larger role than a lot of people realize. Anyway,
Let's see. What haven't we covered? We talked about the market. We haven't talked about Biden. I had a question whether Biden will be again a death pool type thing.
I hate.
Well, he may get through the. You don't like to say it.
I don't know. I don't know if I feel great about predicting his death.
All
I
right.
want to say yeah,
You just
but
did.
then, but I don't know, and I certainly don't wish him to die.
That's right. Nobody does.
I don't think he's in great shape. We know he's got cancer.
He seems to be real quiet, doesn't he?
He does.
Not that he was. Not that he was that active during. I just read the book about the. I guess it was called Fight. It was kind of the end of the election cycle, last cycle, and the whole, telling the story of pushing him out, how that all went down, talking to all the insiders, and you know Kamala taking over and all of that. And it's kind of interesting because I guess Obama was not happy with what happened. Obama wanted like an open convention or mini primaries,
Well, that should have happened.
and he didn't like Kamala. Um, he didn't like what went down, and ultimately I think he was right as far as they would have been better served by opening it up at that point. Um, and I guess there's no love lost between him and Biden anymore because he was obviously influential in getting him with Nancy Pelosi basically pushing him out, which ended up being largely because the donors kind of just walked away from him at some point. I think there was just so much pressure that they just decided they were going to cut him off from the money side of things and show him, everyone was going to be hurt if he didn't step away. But it was an interesting dynamic. I don't know how we ended up getting into that, but we had, speaking of Democrats, we had I don't know if it's too early to predict whether a front runner is emerging yet. I mean, clearly on the Republican side, JD is positioning himself pretty strongly now, right?
Uh, a front runner is in my mindset. I said it a year or two ago. I think it's AOC. I think she'll get the nod.
Well, let's look at Polymarket here. On the
Pretty sure.
Republican side, JD's 54%. Actually, Trump is in third. Trump has a better chance, at least in the market, than DeSantis for being the Republican nominee, and
Trump
he's
has
not
no
that far
chance.
behind Rubio.
Yeah, Trump has absolutely no chance.
And you're saying AOC? I don't think AOC. You think they're gonna go?
Yep,
They're
she's
gonna
got
go.
a big mouth, just like Trump. She's got enough back there to kind of gaslight the right and motivate the left. It's kind of like it's kind of like Bears versus Packers fans.
I mean, she does have, she is Bernie's kind of mentee,
Yeah,
right?
I think
So you
she'll
got the
fire off enough like what do you call them, like talking not talking points, but highlight reel kind of stuff, and she'll right now, unless there's somebody I haven't seen, I think Stephen A. Smith has a real chance if he actually does run for it.
oh, jeez,
Um,
God help
but
me.
right now, I'll call it like Pritzker. No, Pritzker's not going to win the nomination.
Yeah,
Gavin Newsom. No, he's not going
Polly
to win the
Market has
nomination.
Newsom at 35%, three
Yeah,
times.
no.
AOC's next with only 11. Shapiro's at 5, and Buttigieg is at 5.
I'm Buttigieg shouldn't have 5.
Should have more than 5.
I don't know Shapiro well enough. I've seen enough of him to think that he's got a better chance than Buttigieg. I think
Oh
he's a
yeah,
better
he's a governor
talker.
of a big state,
Yeah.
so I think they
Um,
have to go with a big state governor. I don't think they could go for someone in Congress.
I feel
I think
like
it's got to be outside of Congress. So,
Ramaswamy set himself up real nice for another run too.
oh, he's gonna run. That'll be the fun thing, him taking on JD, because I could see that headbutts. I don't think Rubio's gonna.
No, Rubio ain't got it.
Yeah, I don't think he's ever had an appeal, a broad appeal.
I think Vance is media savvy enough to have a real shot at it on the Republican side. I don't see anybody else right now that does. That said, I don't think it's a lock either.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if I could see Trump not giving him his endorsement or something at the end of the day, because I think Trump just likes a fight, so he likes to see his accolades fight against each other, like a blood sport thing. So I could see him not tipping the scale one way or another, even though he picked JD as his vice president. I think he's more transactional than that. We'll see. We will see. Oh, last thing, are we getting into war with Venezuela? Since that seems to be all over the
Yeah.
news now. Are we at war with Venezuela?
We're trying to force them out. I don't think we want a war. I don't think we're going to drop bombs over there.
This is the most surprising thing that is one of the
I,
most surprising things that has occurred. You know, we've got like 25% of our forces like in the Caribbean now.
that's
Like,
crazy, isn't it?
like we, yeah, it's crazy.
Why would we do that? What's it about? What is it about? It's not. It's not just about drugs. It's quite obvious.
It's Cuba too. I guess if he falls, they expect Cuba to fall too,
So maybe it's about Cuba.
because they're tied together pretty strongly. I think.
Maybe it's about China.
There's some geopolitical dynamic here that I don't quite understand. Um, but I do think he's gonna. It appears that he's gonna press it, and I don't know what Maduro could do, right? Um, as far as defending himself, but we're squeezing him to say the least. I don't know what the game plan is at the end of the day,
Yeah. No flights over Venezuela. Like
right?
they're just taking oil tankers and keeping the oil for ourselves,
Yeah, it's pretty aggressive.
blowing up drug boats.
It's pretty aggressive. So I don't think we're going to get into a full out war, but clearly we're taking actions that if another power had means to try to defend themselves, that it could create could create a hot war, right?
I think they're trying to figure out a way for him to leave, and I think they're trying to help him to realize that he needs to go, find a nice, comfy place for him to go live and disappear. I don't think he's obviously taken the bait or
Yeah, I mean it's
taken the
it's
advice.
similar to like the Syria, right? You put enough pressure and you just like, okay, it's time for you to go, right?
You know,
Well,
this is I would
you could
argue
go
even
someplace nice. Go, I don't know where's Assad at? Is he in Russia? I don't know where he ended up.
yeah I don't know.
But yeah, find some place for him to go and say, You enjoy your
off with
life,
you.
whatever. Right.
And what's the guy got to lose? He's rich. You know, he could
Right.
go live a life of luxury and
Yeah, it's odd.
fish all
Right.
day.
You would think if enough pressure was applied that. So I'm predicting the fall of Venezuela and Cuba. I'm just going out there on a ledge
I
because it
think
seems.
Venezuela will fall in 2026. Cuba,
Yeah.
for me, the more I read about it, and I've read about it a little bit lately, um, I think it's more likely. But I mean, Cuba's been such a hard tree to fall. I don't. It's hard to think it'll happen in 2026.
Yeah, it's been predicted many times before. I think,
Gosh,
like
could
for
you
the last
imagine?
50 years. It's amazing, right?
The thing about that island is if it all of a sudden became free again and we could invest there, you wouldn't even have time. You like to think you go buy a piece of land real quick and then make a bunch of money off of it, but
Yeah, it would take off.
it's
It's an interesting history, that island. All right. Anything else that we didn't cover?
I thought you did have a Deadpool on the list.
Oh, the most famous person who's going to die.
Yeah, unfortunately we lost Rob Reiner.
We did. That's crazy.
Real crazy. Did you read about Did you read about that?
Like what happened at
Yeah, like the
Conan's
Conan
party?
O'Brien
Yeah.
thing.
Bill Hader and all that.
Yeah,
It's nuts.
and
It's
I guess they had his son got on some new meds.
yeah. That that that's that's a problem sometimes with mental illness. When you change meds, it really messes
They
up your chemistry.
they really should be tracking somehow, like changes to meds, what they were, and then if stuff like this happens afterwards, document it, and then put statistics out there. Obviously, the pharmaceuticals don't like it,
Right.
but I'd like to see what kind of correlation there are between certain meds, the changes of meds, the time frame, and then when this stuff happens.
Yeah, it's definitely a real thing. Definitely a real thing. I mean, I think they should probably hospitalize people when they do that or somehow monitor them, right? Because really, you're changing your brain chemistry when you do that, and they should be monitored. But unfortunately, sometimes we can't. You can't institutionalize someone without their consent. Probably, especially in California, right?
I don't think you really can anywhere.
Yeah.
I don't think they're great places. I don't think nursing homes are great places. I
No,
don't.
no. You need kind of a specialized mental health institution. But yeah. Do you
All
have
right.
a famous death? I was gonna
Well,
say Putin. I don't. I was thinking about it, and I just wrote Putin down. I don't know why.
yeah, I think
Do you
Putin would
think
be
there's any
fine.
chance that somebody's gonna take out Putin?
There were rumors going around for years. I haven't heard them lately that he was really sick and has cancer. Whether or not that's the case, I don't know. But
Yeah, it's one of those things you wouldn't know about, right? You just kind of like, oh, he died, right?
hmm
I think it would be so well hidden. I think that's kind of why I put him down there. It's like maybe we don't know something.
it's possible. No, though he seems like he's in pretty good control. So I don't know.
Well, we haven't seen him riding, bare chested on a horse lately.
Yeah,
So
yeah. I'm trying to think of somebody old that's kind of yeah. I'll tell you right now, Bruce Willis. He'll be on my list for this year.
Bruce Willis, that's a solid bet. I
Yeah.
usually pick Mel Brooks every year, but I think he's right over 100. So, but yeah, Bruce is or Michael J. Fox isn't looking too great either. Those diseases just, you know, they're horrible.
Yeah. Um, they are terrible, and he doesn't look good.
Well, I think we've talked enough about death.
All right, that's good. Although, you know what? Now that I'm thinking about it too, J.B. Pritzker, people that big,
That's
like,
interesting, right?
yeah. Um, but okay, that would be my off the wall one. All right, other notes on here. Do we start seeing mass layoffs?
Yeah. Well, we saw some in the fall, and then it's kind of like got quiet. I guess the point is, are we going to see? Um, we didn't see a recession coming, but this is more sort of AI driven. Um, are we going to start seeing that in 2026, where some of these knowledge or jobs, these lower level jobs, all indications are that, at least from what I've read, that entry level positions in college graduates are having a harder time getting gainfully employed. I don't know if there's any hard statistics on that, but at least my reading is that anecdotally it's becoming more difficult. I don't know what you're in the industry. You do some recruiting. You think
Yeah.
that's
So there, in my opinion, companies are wanting AI to happen, and they want them to reduce jobs. Absolutely. Um, it's AI is not quite there yet,
okay?
and I'll tell you, my team, I'm pushing my team pretty hard to utilize AI. Not because I want any of them to leave, but because it can do some pretty awesome things. And why would I want somebody working 8 hours on something when they can do it in a half hour or 20
Right,
minutes, right? I'm now using AI daily. If I'm shopping, like Christmas shopping, right? Just, hey, Grok, tell me, what the hot Christmas gifts are. And then
right,
I'm like, okay. Okay. It tells me, hey, Grok, tell me where I can find the largest discount on this gift, right? And it's like, oh, here's a 50% discount. And then I can use it. And it's like, wow, that just saved me significant money, like $50, you know, um, which is kind of neat. You can use the same thing, by the way, for concert pre-sales and things like that. If you want to get a pre-sale password for your show before they go on sale, heads up. But it's also
it's
code.
amazing that the tight end of the former tight end of the New England Patriots could be so smart. Oh, you said Grok, not
Not
Gronk.
drunk.
I get him confused. I'm like, Gronk knows so much nowadays.
No,
That guy's really smart.
I got my Super Bowl pick from Gronk. I called him out,
That's right.
but um,
So you're
the
saying it could do things. We should use it, but you don't think it's there yet to see like
you can go
mass
into AI
layoffs.
and literally say, write me the code for Pong, and it will write you the code, and you can play Pong on your computer.
That's nuts.
And that's like it can write a whole video game for you. My buddy uses it to create songs, and he's like, create me a mashup between rap artist A and country artist B. Use these lyrics, or he'll just say, make it about Christmas, right? And it does it, and it does a really good job. And then he says, this is pretty good, but I just want you to tweak it a little bit here, tweak it a little bit here, and it does it. And the next thing you know, he has a song that you would not be able to tell was written by AI. It's the most amazing thing, right? So also what's kind of neat from a business perspective is you can say, hey, take this code that was written 40 years ago, put it into a modern coding language, and also I wanted to do A, B, and C, right? And then it'll do it. It's amazing, and it'll do it in like 5 minutes or less. Would take a normal person weeks, if not months, to do something like that. So it's pretty amazing what it can do. It's not quite there taking jobs yet. I do think companies want to do more with
Want
less,
that?
right?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Of
they want
course.
that.
Right.
They do want that. And I do think there's more, especially in construction, right? We still haven't recovered from the whole COVID thing from a standpoint of like office vacancies are still high, near 50%, or at least full utilization of buildings is low. And then, so you've got that problem. The housing market is very slow because of the reasons we've discussed already. People were hiring and hanging on to labor for a long time, and labor is still continuing to get more expensive. I do think there's going to be more cuts. I'm going to say by the end of the year, the unemployment's 4.7 now. I'm going to say 5 4.9 to 5. I think 4.9 is a little bit
Yeah, I think it's going to
conservative.
go over 5
Yeah, I think
because
4.9 is a little
I think
conservative. 5.
if we
Yeah.
don't see strong growth, what
Mhm.
companies are going to start doing is cutting, right? And
Mhm.
if they can get away with it, you said AI is not all the way there, but it would
Here's
be it would be a way to kind of front end load some of that. Um,
here's why I think it's not too much over 5, and why I didn't say over 5. And if you got any employees that have been around 5 to 20 years or longer, their salaries are a lot cheaper than employees that are new. For instance, I've had to hire, I don't know, quite a few new people recently. And the monetary offers on that, just to be competitive, are a lot higher than the people that they replaced,
wow, that's crazy.
right? Because wages have increased so much over the last few years. So if you have a mass cut when things pick up, it's going to be a lot more expensive than it would have been if you had hung on to these people.
So you're saying historical wages, given that you're just stepping up these people, incrementally every year versus a big
Yep.
jump from hiring a new guy,
Yep.
that they might say, well, we might as well hold on to this guy because if we need to bring somebody back in, it's going to be more costly.
Yeah. I mean, even like,
It's
you know,
interesting.
yeah, there's people that report to me where offers have been not very far below, like shockingly not far below to what I make, and I'm an over 20-year employee.
Right.
So
Huh.
it's just it's just the nature of the market as inflation has caused wages to go up, and I think that will keep things kind of in check unless the bottom really falls out.
All right. Well, we're calling no bottom. I'm more pessimistic. Bob's more well, go. Well, Go-Go's been winning lately, so good
What'd you
on you.
pay for gas today or this week?
Good on you. It's still creeping around like 280, 290.
You paid
I,
260 today.
yeah, you're a little lower. I guess some places in the country it's broken under two.
I read that.
I mean, everything I read is my theory on the gas situation is that um, OPEC and Saudis are they're feeding this oversupply. They haven't cut production.
And I
I
got to well, we've commandeered at least two tankers.
That's right. We're getting free oil now.
What is that? Was it 200 million barrels on each or 2 million
That's right.
barrels on each?
That's
It's a
true.
lot of free oil,
It's free oil.
assuming we're actually really taking it and putting
Yeah,
it
I
into the
wonder where
system.
that goes. Where's that going?
Where is
Mar-a-Lago.
it? Assume it's coming up through Houston or New Orleans, I would think.
It's going to Mar-a-Lago.
There it is.
Who's sucking that oil off those tankers? That's what I want to know.
We
Get 60
canceled
minutes
some
on that.
wind turbine contracts today. They're not building those anymore. Yeah.
That's right. Yeah, we don't need that stuff. We're all good. All right, Bob. This is fun. Merry Christmas. Happy New Year. Safe
Merry
travels
Christmas. Enjoy
to
your first
everyone,
Christmas
all our
movie.
listeners. Thanks always for listening. Have a wonderful holiday season. Want to add anything, Bob?
Go Pack Go.
Oh, jeez, you have to throw that in there. I do think the Packers are going to win the division. I'm so horrible at predictions. You might want to bet against that.
Yeah. Here's what
I think the Bears are going to lose their last two games.
it doesn't matter. I mean, here's what in my mind, all year I've been expecting the Bears to lose, right? All year I've been saying they're not good.
You have.
Watching
You
the game
said
even
that,
the other
right?
night,
Yep. You've been consistent.
the Packers beat them. The onside kick killed them. And the fact that it happened is I'm not mad the Bears won. I'm not upset about the 50-yard touchdown pass, whatever. I'm upset about the onside kick and losing that, right? That's what infuriates me, especially considering the Seattle loss a few years ago, and the Packers should have known better. They should have called a timeout. That should never have happened. That's what upsets me. But that said, I've said all year the Bears aren't good and they're going to lose. Now here's what I like to think is going to happen: the Packers meet them in the playoffs and beat them, and it's sweet revenge.
Ooh.
And when the Packers beat the Bears earlier this year, I did not rub it in anybody's face. I can tell you, I've told you about my blood pressure and how I had to disconnect.
Yep.
I've received so many videos and text messages and memes from work, like work channels, as well as personal channels. It's infuriating. And so, there's one or two people I've thrown some salt at.
Right.
But generally, I've just kind of laid back. But in my mind, what I'm really, really hoping for is another matchup, and then you know what I mean?
Yeah, you might not want to watch that game, Bob.
I know. I might not want to watch that game. But
All
anyway,
right. All right.
Happy holidays.
Happy holidays. Take care. Bye-bye.
You too. Bye.